welcome developers. If you've ever wanted to take your WordPress and Formidable Forms customization to the next level, then you're in the right place. Today, I'll demystify hooks, one of the most powerful tools for developers, and show you how they work in both WordPress and Formidable Forms. Let's start with the basics. Hooks are a way for developers to add or modify functionality without changing the core code of WordPress or a plugin like Formidable Forms. There are two types of hooks, actions and filters. Actions let you add functionality like sending an email or logging data. Filters allow you to modify data before it's processed, such as changing form field labels or entry data. WordPress hooks are everywhere. Let's look at an example. Suppose you want to add a custom message to the footer of your site. You'd use an action hook called WP_footer. With this simple function, WordPress knows to execute your code when the WP footer action is called. Now, let's talk about Formidable Forms. It provides its own set of hooks that are specifically designed for customizing forms, entries, and views. These hooks work just like WordPress hooks, but are tailored for form building tasks. For example, the Form Entries Before Create hook allows you to validate or manipulate data before it's saved, while the Form After Create Entry hook lets you trigger actions like sending a notification email after the entry is created. Let's see this in action. Imagine you want to validate a form submission to ensure a certain field isn't empty. You'd use the Form Entries Before Create hook like this. With this code, if a specific field in your form is empty, the form submission will stop, and the user will see an error message. Now, let's use the Form After Create Entry hook to send an email notification after a form is submitted. Now, every time a user submits this form, the admin will get an email with the entry details. Hooks are powerful, but debugging them can sometimes be tricky. That's why testing is essential. Use tools like BrainMonkey for PHP unit tests, or simply add logging with errorlog to verify your hooks are working, or use the Kint debugger. Before we wrap up, let's cover a few gold standards for using hooks effectively. Use descriptive function names. Choose names that clearly indicate the purpose of your function, like validate entry data or log entry creation. Follow WordPress standards. Write clean, readable code that follows the WordPress coding standards. If you're interested in learning more about coding standards, check out my free Mastermind Software Development Standards ebook. You can find it in the Formidable Mastermind store. Test your hooks. Always write tests to confirm your hooks work as intended. Unhook when necessary. If you need to remove a hook, use remove action or remove filter carefully to avoid conflicts. To recap, WordPress and Formidable Forms hooks give you the power to customize and extend functionality without touching core code. By mastering hooks like Form Entries Before Create and Form After Create Entry, you can add incredible flexibility to your forms. Harnessing hooks in WordPress and Formidable Forms opens a world of possibilities for customizing and enhancing your projects. Try experimenting with these examples and see how hooks can take your development to the next level. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tips and tutorials on WordPress and Formidable Forms development. Happy coding!